It's not what you say, it's how you say it. That's what matters. You've heard that before. It's from the famous Meridian communication study. The study says, in communication, only 7% of our meaning is conveyed through the actual words we speak. 38% of the meaning is coming through our tone of voice. And 55% of a message is conveyed through facial expressions. Well, I am contradicting that research. When it comes to supporting customers, when it comes to lowering the temperature and guiding customers to closure faster, it is precisely our words that matter in a live chat, over the phone, and face-to-face. In this video, I am examining what not to do and what you should try instead when you want to guide your customers to closure, when you give them bad news, when you can't give them what they want, when they are angry, when they are pushing back. That's coming up in this video. The primary way we try to calm angry customers is with our words. Ma'am, there's no point arguing with me. I don't make the rules. I need you to calm down or I'll be forced to disconnect this call. We don't always realize it, but a lot of the time we use aggressive words and an aggressive tone in an attempt to calm down our angry customers. I get it. I get why you would feel that you have to take an aggressive tone or use aggressive words. You have to control the interaction. A lot of us are mindful of our average handle time. Plus, it's frustrating to listen to a customer rant going on and perhaps verbally abusing us. Nobody has time for that. Nobody wants to deal with that. So what you're doing is using your strength, your power to try to control the interaction. I totally get that. Our attempts to control usually don't give us control. In fact, they drag the conversation out longer, whether in a live chat, on a call, or face-to-face. This dragging out of the conversation happens because of what I like to call the escalation loop. Here's how the escalation loop works. You give your customer bad news or say something they don't want to hear. Then the customer reacts to what you've said, which is often an emotional response. Then you, in your attempt to lower the temperature and guide things forward, use strong words. Ma'am, I need you to calm down, for example. Your customer pushes back on your words, and then back and forth you go. So how do we get out of this back and forth loop? How do we control the interaction if our words are at risk of doing more damage than good? We eliminate the escalation loop by intentionally using our words to create calm and prime customers toward closure. We must proactively position our words to work for us, not against us. We have to use words that make us sound confident, make us sound knowledgeable and in control. We want our words to tell the customer we are the final answer. And you're going to do all of this by using what I call the 4 P's. I, me, we, us. These are personal pronouns. When you use personal pronouns, you sound more personable and natural. You already use many personal pronouns when you're talking to friends, family, your coworkers. It's how we naturally speak. You sound genuine and confident when you intentionally use more personal pronouns on the phone, in email, live chat, and face-to-face with customers. Instead of Acme Company apologizes for this unfortunate incident. I want you to try instead. I am sorry you've had such a frustrating experience. Customers often see problem situations as you being the company, against them. This is not the reality, of course. So we have to use our language to show customers that we are actually on their side. There is no battle. The way we do this is we are going to combine personal pronouns that you just learned about with partnering language to convey in one sentence, in as little as one sentence, that you are on the customer's side. Here's an example. We want to get to the bottom of this as much as you do. Notice the personal pronouns here, we and you. We is extremely important here. You are conveying that you are on the same side. You, the company, the policy, the intention, you're all on the customer side. And then the partnering language here is we want to get to the bottom of this as much as you do. We want to resolve the problem as much as you do. We want to get you to your goal as much as you want that. Reframe the problem so that any option you present actually looks like a benefit. After a delayed flight caused me to miss my connection to Tulsa to get back home where I live, an employee with the airline positively positioned her option. She said, "We can't get you to Tulsa tonight, but we do have an option to get you to Dallas," which I understand is a short 4-hour drive to Tulsa. I took that option. My goal was to get to Tulsa that night. I had something important I needed to do in Tulsa the next day. While I did not want to have to go to Dallas and rent a car and drive 4 hours, arriving late into the night, that was so much better than not getting to Tulsa until the next day. It was better than sleeping in the airport or paying for a hotel. So I took that option. The employee made it easy because she positively positioned that option. And that's exactly what I want you to do with your customers. Position your options positively so customers feel like they're actually getting a good deal and that you are in their corner. I want you to fill in the blanks. I have a 4-letter word for you. I've given you the first letter and the last letter, and I want you to guess what that word is. While you try to figure that out, I am going to fluff up my fro. So go ahead, guess the word while I fluff. All right. Did you guess the word? Hair. You're right. You said hair. What I demonstrated is known as psychological priming. Psychological priming is when you expose a person to a stimulus. That stimulus can be a word, a picture, a prop. You expose a person to a stimulus with the intention of guiding them to your desired outcome. I exposed you to a prop, my afro pick. I referred to my hair as a fro, as an afro, as in a way to describe the way I wear my hair. And then I was physically in my hair with my afro pick, and I primed you to say the word hair. You can use psychological priming to guide your customers to accept your option or to your desired outcome. And you can actually prime in 2 ways. You can prime positively or negatively. But let's start with how to positively prime a customer. One of my clients is a water utility. In this county, when a person moves and leaves an outstanding balance, meaning I move and I didn't pay my last water bill, maybe I didn't even pay the last 2 months. If I don't pay that bill, the debt stays with the water meter. Yes, the company will try to collect from me, but if they're unable to collect, the debt is with that meter. When someone else moves into that house, they discover they have to pay the past due bill before turning their water on. And they're mad. The agent on the phone could say in this real scenario, the debt is attached to the meter. Regardless of who accrued the debt, ABC Utility won't turn water on until the bill is paid. But this approach will get pushback and can be difficult to manage. Here's a good positive priming example. As a solution, I have 2 suggestions. First, you need to talk to your landlord. Tell them there's a debt on the meter and that you can't turn on water. See if they'll work something out for you. The second option, and I do this immediately, look carefully at your lease to see if any clause protects you in this situation. The goal in this priming statement is to get the customer to disconnect the phone call and talk to someone who might be able to help. Disconnect and pursue options that might help, because in the moment with the agent, nothing can be done. 2 suggestions. We want the customer to feel that we are in their corner, that we are partnering with them. Anytime you can give a customer a suggestion, any type of help, you're showing that you are partnering with them. You need to talk to your landlord. We are priming the customer to disconnect, and talk to the landlord, someone who might be able to help. Second option is the next primer. Generally speaking, the more options your customer feels they have, the more likely they are to calm down on their own without you having to do anything. I'd do this immediately. Look carefully at your lease. What I was trying to do here was evoke a sense of urgency for the customer to disconnect the phone call and take action. That action I'm priming is, in this sentence, look at your lease. And then protects you. That's another attempt to prime the customer so that they feel partnered as they go and pursue the option or options that you've suggested. Now, this primer was very effective with my client. We knew that in the moment we couldn't help the customer. It's just the way the policies were written. But we didn't want the call to go on and on and on. This primer was successful in getting customers to get off of the phone and pursue other options. This is the perfect example of positive psychological priming. A word of caution. You want to avoid negative priming. Just like you can prime people to your desired outcome, you can unintentionally prime them to want to talk to your supervisor, or prime them to not want to accept your options. Here's what I mean. If you say to a customer, the most I'm able to offer is $50, you're priming the customer to go over you and talk to someone who can give them more than $50. If you say only a supervisor can authorize that, you're priming your customer to ask for a supervisor. Just merely mentioning a supervisor is priming the customer to want to talk to a supervisor. So let's be intentional about priming, ensuring we don't negatively prime. I've given you a lot in this video. So before you go to the next thing, the next video, or to check email, before you go, I want you to take a moment, and this will take maybe 45 seconds, a moment to capture your biggest takeaways. And we're going to do that using a method that I close out all of my in-person workshops with, all of my Zoom workshops with as well. And that is, I want you to grab something to write with, or you can even pick up your phone and type this out. And I want you to write out or type out these 3 words. Start, stop, and continue. I want you to identify one thing you commit to start doing as a result of something you learned in my video. One thing. That might be, I will start using more personal pronouns in live chat or on the phone with my customers. And then, What is one thing you will stop doing? Perhaps there's something that you know now is holding you back. That might be you will stop negatively priming your customers by merely mentioning the word supervisor. And then finally, what is one thing you will continue to do? I am sure, I'm absolutely certain there are many things that you're already doing very, very well. You would not stop and watch this video if you weren't already committed, already excelling in many areas. So what is one thing that you will continue to do? All right, write out or type out your start, stop, continue. That is going to reinforce your good habits and then nudge you toward even better habits. If I helped you today, I want you to do me a favor and like my video. And I invite you to subscribe to my channel. That way you'll always know when I release a new video. All right, until next time.